What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to the JTFB channel, and we are live for Mock Draft Monday, and I'll be doing this every single Monday except the Free Agency Monday, of course. But this could change up depending on things that happen. Of course, you've seen already some news with T. Higgins. They said that he's probably going to get franchise tagged, and that window opens up tomorrow as well. So who knows who else gets tagged? Something to keep an eye on. I don't see anyone in Washington getting tagged. That'd be kind of silly. Honestly, we don't have the people that are free agents that are worth keeping around. So I don't see anyone for Washington. But y'all hit that subscribe button. It's been a crazy month already, one of the best months for the channel ever. So we're not slowing down. We're going to keep this train rolling until kickoff of next season. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Uptown Dre said, "What's going on, my brethren? Let's get it. It's time for some mock drafts." Josh Simmons, I really wish he was going to be there at 29 because I would do it in a heartbeat because that dude's a freak athlete of a tackle. What's going on, Caden? Myles Garrett. We are officially on Myles Garrett watch. I say as soon as the combine starts, that's when my Myles Garrett clock really kicks in. Right now, we're just chilling. What's going on, Kenny? Yes, sir. Gonna be doing live streams a lot more often, as y'all can tell already. Like I said, just been uploading videos pretty much every single day. Hampton from UNC. We'll check it out, Nathan, to see what we got going on. But let's pull it up, y'all. So, like I said, we got free agency coming up soon. So, I'm going to take a look at the mock draft simulator, but also kind of give y'all my thoughts on how I think Washington goes with free agency and how that really ties into my mock drafts. I'm not just picking, random stuff or anything like that. So, let me go ahead and 7 rounds. I do it fast because I don't care about other teams. I've been doing pretty heavy with PFF boards, but I'm going to lean towards the public just to see what it's like. I haven't done like a fully public board yet, so that'll be interesting. And then I put positional value all the way up, draft need all the way up, and then randomness all the way down. I think Defoe, St. Juice, and Mike Davis are all gone. They should be gone like yesterday. We have the 29th pick. That's a problem because that means we didn't get Garrett. True. So I already did a Myles Garrett mock draft on the channel. So this one's not going to be a Myles Garrett. I'm going to actually pick all the picks and see what happens and see if I like it. Maybe I hate it afterwards. Maybe y'all hate it. Who knows? Jair Alexander, I'm good on him. He's just not on the field at all. We already have Marshawn Lattimore getting hurt, so I'm good on that. And shout out to PFF for finally fixing all the picks. We don't have to make any crazy trades before we even start. We have all the picks, so let's start the draft. I'm nervous. Like I said, I haven't done a public one yet to see what the board really looks like. But I'm not too mad at it. Let me try to zoom in as much as possible. I was trying to see who got picked already, and I'm not mad at it. This looks pretty good, pretty spot on. And yeah, Josh Simmons, I think, is going high. So we've got Amarion Hampton, Josh Connerly Jr., who I really like, Jahdae Barron, Colston Loveland, Demetrius Knight Jr., Trey Amos, Siobhan Revel. And I'm not going all the way down there. So just my mindset. Y'all let me know what you think. Just looking at free agency and how I think Washington will really attack everything. If I had to like split up the offense and defense, I think offense in the draft for a lot of positions, obviously maybe D end, maybe D tackle, depending on what happens. Maybe they move John Allen. I talked about that too on a video, just talking about how much money that frees up. But maybe they sign a big-time D tackle like Milton Williams or Osa over at the Cowboys. Or I just think in free agency, they're going to hit it hard on defense. Maybe I think they sign a veteran stopgap guard for right guard unless they kick Wiley in to fill in for Cosme while he's hurt. And maybe they sign Ronnie Stanley or something like that at tackle that can really take over at left tackle. Maybe they move Brandon Coleman to right guard. But kind of thought, when he's talking to Jordan Reed, he said it kind of sounds like, they'll keep Brandon Coleman there unless they can upgrade to like a, good extent. But just see how he's doing. Everyone thinks Brandon Coleman had a pretty good season, like outside of Washington. So we'll see. But I think free agency, we'll see a lot of defense. There's a lot of corners I like. Like I said, some D tackles I like too, some D ends, even if we don't get Myles Garrett. Heck, go get Khalil Mack. There's some other ones. I'll be doing more free agent videos coming up soon. But maybe I say wide receiver too. It depends what falls to us. But we'll see how the board really falls. Any trade down opportunities? Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of trades. My four main needs are edge, left tackle, corner, and running back. You think we'll take any wide receiver in the draft or free agent? We only have two in the moment. I say you do both. I think Christian Kirk is a name that's popped up lately. I think Debo is a big possibility. I don't know about Cooper Kupp. I think Debo is going to get released. It's probably going to be like a post June 1st kind of thing, just so they save money. But then you still, in my opinion, you draft somebody like Trey Harris, Kyle Williams. We'll see what happens. Nathan, appreciate the super chat, man. Might be dumb, but hot take. I think Hampton is better than Genty. I like Hampton a lot. I haven't done a mock draft where I've actually gotten Hampton here in the first. But it sounds like some of y'all want me to get Hampton. So, Nathan, you did the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I think Omarion Hampton is a gigantic home run ability. I mean, running back wise, people are saying like the gap between him and Genty isn't that much. I think Genty is still really, really good. But when you think about a dominant running back that can take over, that just does everything so well. And I think he fits our run gap scheme really well, too. I'm interested to see what happens between, because we started out as like a really gap heavy run scheme, which fits Omarion Hampton really well. And then we started to add in some zone stuff like second half of the season. So I really want to see what Cliff decides to stick on to for, the gap scheme they want to do. Maybe they just mix it up again, but primarily gap. It just depends on the offensive line too, because you need guys that can pull for a gap scheme. But Nathan, you did the super chat and you like Hampton here. So I'll go Hampton here for you because you did that and I appreciate it. Let's see. HBCU Legacy Ball is catching up on it just now a little bit. Trying to catch up and see what happens. I'll look at that later on tonight. I've heard rumors about Trey Hendrickson. No, thank you. I mean, Trey Hendrickson's a stud. I just don't see it happening. But we'll go Omarion Hampton here because I usually get TreVeyon Henderson in the second, but we'll go running back here. We'll get a dominant running back that can take over games. I'm not going to say he is Saquon Barkley, but someone like Saquon Barkley, someone like Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, could you imagine how even better this offense would have been last year with a dominant run game? Outstanding. So I'll go Omarion Hampton for you here at 29. I would not be mad at that pick at all if it came, to fruition. And if you don't, then you have Caleb Johnson here, who I don't think he's as good of a fit. He's definitely more of a zone runner, which we just didn't run a ton of last year. This is where it gets really, really hard for me. Because first off, I'm not a fan of Cameron Williams. I heard his weigh in when he was getting ready for combine prep, and I was like, no, thank you. I think he's extremely raw. I don't think you take him at 61. I'm good on that. Ozzy Trapilo is a guy who I think is super underrated, a mountain of a mammoth of a man at tackle, played primarily right tackle. I think he's a day one starter at right tackle. 6'8", 309. He was at the Senior Bowl. I really liked what I saw from him. People were talking really high about him after the Senior Bowl. So I'm stuck between him and then like my draft crush. Definitely top 5 out of like every player in the draft is here for me. I'm not even worried about those guys. Darius Alexander is one of my favorite players in this draft. And I think him at 61 would be insane. This is more of a move of if something happens to John Allen, if they, trade John Allen for like a late pick or they release him, whatever, which I really find I just don't see that happening. What I think will happen is they extend John Allen another year or two and it frees up more cap space for this year than it gives you an out after next year. But who says you can't still take a D tackle? The Eagles do it every single year. The Eagles, and that's why their trenches are so good. You have just depth and you have guys that are rotating in, playmakers. I mean, could you imagine Deron Payne, John Allen, Darius Alexander, and Jerzon Newton in the interior? That's filthy. And if you want John Allen playing at his best, after his injury at this point in his career, you can rotate him in. But then also Darius Alexander is like the future. Like, and I'm super high on Newton. He's one of the most dominant D tackles I've ever watched in college football, like crazy. So I think, the jump in the second year, it's going to be there. So you're banking on that too. But man, I'm stuck between Ozzy Trapilo and Darius Alexander here. I think Wyatt Milam's going to kick into guard. And like I said, I'm not too fond of Cameron Williams. I really like Alfred Collins too. And we already got a running back. And I think Jonah kicks into guard too. That's honestly what I think happens. So I'm going to go Darius Alexander because I'm not too sure that I want to spend. What's the projected for? Let me see. Milton, it's got to be like low 20s. Where's interior? So Osa is 21.25 and Milton is 21 mil a year projected. I'm not signing one of those guys while I still have John Allen and Deron Payne. I'm probably going to draft somebody. So that's where I'm going to go here. I know I said we're going to hit heavy on, defense and free agency, but if you have a guy in such a loaded draft, I think you have to do it. So I'm going to go Darius Alexander. He's one of my favorite guys in the draft, honestly. Stud. And then at 79, this is where things start to get interesting. Ooh, there's if I wouldn't have gone Darius Alexander there, I probably would have gone Deion Walker. He when I talked to him at the Senior Bowl, he was battling a back injury all season, so he kind of had like a down season. But if y'all remember him the year before last, that dude was a beast. He's a big time guy. But if I wouldn't have gone Darius Alexander in the second, I would have taken Deion Walker in the third, which I think is a steal. But we're gonna look at Charles Grant just went. I'm not a fan of Isaiah Bond. Marcus Mbao, man, if he would have landed, that would have been great. Do you think we have a chance to get to the Super Bowl if we draft the right people? I think our chances increased. I mean, I think this is a really good, off. I don't think this is a crazy offseason talent wise, but I think having just that year or two to reset, get rid of some other guys, bring in some more. I think the sky's the limit. First pick, we went Omarion Hampton. The chat wanted Omarion Hampton, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm a big fan. Yeah, the schedule looks a little hard, but I'm really not too worried about it. Always best player available when you have the QB locked down. I can agree with that. The first pick of 29, three guys I find: Tipton, Connolly, Loveland, Izarike. Probably go Connolly Jr. just because the tackle is hardest position to find. So we went Omarion Hampton. I feel like the Commanders can wait on D tackle. This class is loaded, and we'll have a rotational stud round 4 and 5. It really depends. It's going to be tough, though. I think kind of like Darius Alexander, man, he's just so good to pass up on. When I move Coleman to right tackle insert, Trent Scott till Cosme returns. I think I'm signing somebody. Would Thomas out of FSU be a good fit? Yes. I'm a big he's honestly one of my picks here, probably. Top 3 deepest positions in the draft. D tackle is the first one. Running back's the second one. And I'll go tight end 3. Which you could honestly mix them all up, and I would not be mad at it at all. So Jay brought up a really, really good point. I've seen some people like saying, "Oh, Josh, I really want this guy." And I'm like, he doesn't fit. You really have to, and that's why I went Omarion Hampton, because of his running ability, like where he really excels in the gap scheme. That is what we're going to do this season, more than likely, with a little bit of zone mixed in, obviously, as well. But him, I'm like, he doesn't even need a good offensive line. Omarion Hampton is a stud. I highly, highly suggest people to go watch his film. You're gonna be like, holy smokes, this guy does everything. I love Enos Peoples. Yeah, Peoples is good. Tonka Hemingway and Jordan Phillips, who would be available on day 3. What's going on, Radar? Appreciate you coming by, man. Let's see where we're gonna go here. So we went for the ones that are just coming in. Omarion Hampton, running back, Darius Alexander, D-line, and I honestly think they were the best players available on the board anyways. I find it really hard to believe Alexander's going to be there at 61. And it wouldn't surprise me if Hampton goes before 29 too. Here I am looking Belton and Azariah Thomas. I'm struggling here. Belton is really good. He had a really solid Senior Bowl. And when I just watched the tape, he just had some consistency concerns, but he's played, I mean, I would say pretty much all snaps at left tackle his whole career. Gave up 3 sacks last year, 1 hit, 8 hurries. Like I said, the consistency bothers me, but man, he was so good at the Senior Bowl against those guys. I mean, I think he was one of the best tackles there outside of like Gray Zabel. The only reason I don't want to go Azariah Thomas, which I'm struggling with, is because I think we get a corner. I think we get a corner in free agency, whether it's Charvarius Ward or Carl Davis, maybe. There's also some guys who can get cut too. DJ Reed obviously would be a home run if he starts on the outside. Asante Samuel would be nice. Byron Murphy's a guy not a lot of people are talking about. I'm not too fond past here. Maybe Paulson Adebo, but if I'm signing a corner in free agency, Charvarius Ward and DJ Reed are my top 2, obviously. And then I'm probably looking out Carlton Davis or Byron Murphy. I think Byron Murphy's a stud. I just don't know if they can afford to keep him. I just don't know if we can afford to keep him. Let me go back to my mock draft simulator. Where'd it go? There we go. But let's see. And yes, my other crush is here, Trey Harris. So that's what I'm really depending on. I think when you look at the wide receiver position, I think we either get Debo or Curtis or Christian Kirk, but I think we still need a dominant wide receiver too. So as much as I love Azariah Thomas, I think we sign a corner in free agency. I wouldn't be mad if we go get a Ronnie Stanley in free agency as well, and maybe get a depth guy. Unless someone crazy falls there at 29, then I might do it. Let's see what's going on. So I usually do Travion Henderson. I usually do him in the second round. But I think Hampton is that good. I think tier 1 running backs in the draft for me is Genty, obviously, Hampton, and then Caleb. And then I have Travion Henderson right, like tier 1, like right outside tier 1 peeking in. But the chat really wanted Omarion Hampton, so I wasn't mad at it. I went Hampton because I usually always do Travion Henderson anyway, so I decided to mix it up. I do like Mason Taylor, but I just don't know if I'm taking him right here. I think Zach Ertz comes back. I think you need a late round tight end that can fill in for Bates. I don't think Bates comes back. Thomas is the move by like Belton. I do too. DJ Reed, Ward, Davis. I'm all over all 3 of them. Is the OL good value later in the draft as well? Not really. That's the biggest issue. I just don't know how comfortable I am. I feel like with these tackles in this draft too, it's hit or miss. You really got to get those guys in the early first round. I feel like those are the more sure guys. I'm okay with spending money, and I don't mean to keep going back and forth, but I just want to talk through the process to tell y'all what I think could happen in free agency. I'm okay, like I said, getting a Ronnie Stanley, spending the money on like a sure tackle, or Alaric Jackson from the Rams. He was an up and rising guy, only 26 and a half years old. I really find it hard that LA lets him go. But if so, you sign him. Definitely. He was a stud last year. I think he should be higher than Tyron Smith and Cam Robinson, honestly. I'm good on Jedrick Wills and I'm good on Morgan Moses. But Jackson, Stanley, if you can get one of those 2 guys and solidify that tackle spot, you don't really have to worry about it too much in the draft. I just think this draft, there's just so many unsures. I think the last guy I would be like comfortable really getting would be Josh Connerly Jr. if we would have gone that way in the first, which is what I usually do anyways. But we're going to mix it up. Like I said, we're going to do this every Monday and go through these different scenarios. Hampton is my dream pick. Nothing helps a young quarterback like a strong running game, and we did not have one at all. I'm very high on Trey Harris. I'm probably going to take him here. Paulson Adebo, I could see it. Dre Greenlaw, so I did a video on him. I like it. And in the video, I kind of explained everything as well. Jeff Okudah, he is injury prone, but he just hasn't amounted to anything. I like Damian Martinez a lot. I'm higher on Damian Martinez than a lot of people are. Tez Johnson in the slot. the thing is, I just think we can get a slot guy like, I think put Debo in the slot, whatever, Christian Kirk in the slot, maybe Darius Slayton. I think you can get a slot guy a lot easier than you're going to be drafting one. I'm just looking for that, home run guy. And I'm trying to get to all y'all's chats. I apologize. I'm trying to find like that home run guy that can really, be a legit wide receiver too. And in my opinion, that's Trey Harris. I mean, grade versus man coverage, it was the highest out of any wide receiver in the draft. This is not the best wide receiver draft class. I would be stunned. I mean, stunned if he's there at 79. There's people that still think he goes in the first round. So, Savion Williams, I do like Savion Williams too. He's probably gone by now. I don't see him being here. Yeah, he's definitely gone. Then, of course, my guy Kyle Williams in the 5th. But for the sake of this one, the fact that Trey Harris is here, I'm telling you, I think Trey Harris is going to be one of those bona fide dudes who can just produce right away. Not like, oh, we need to, get somebody and let them develop. Trey Harris he's going to be ready day one. I'm telling y'all, that dude is, man, I'm so big on Trey. So we did running back Marion Hampton at 29, Darius Alexander at 61. And I think you would see a ton of him year one. I think you see a ton of Alexander. I love his game so much. And then Trey Harris, start him at wide receiver too. Honest to God, I think he would. This is the part of the draft where I really hate. 147. Let's see. Tight end, running back, tight end, running back, my guy Kyle, and then quarterback. This is where it gets kind of wonky. I have no problem building the trenches here. Josh Joyner's a good depth edge guy. I like Cody Lindenberg. I like Cody Simon at linebacker. If you want another depth guy, or Kobe King. If you don't, go get Dre Greenlaw. Let me see what y'all think about here. Iowa State wide receivers. I love Higgins. Noel's another guy you could get in the slot. I do really like Higgins though. Does Washington trade next year pick for 2 more picks this year, 4th, 5th round? So we don't have any 4th round picks. So I don't know. Maybe we trade back. Maybe we trade back in the 3rd. I don't know. I think we saw from Adam Peters, he's not afraid to make a trade if it makes sense, and he feels really good about his ability to draft really well, and I like it too. So this is tough. I have my one Big E said, come on, Kyle Williams. I feel like people are going to hate me for taking 2 wide receivers, but if you think about it, we only have Terry and Luke coming back, and if I'm looking at best player available right here for like what fits us best, I think Kyle would be. See, I mean, I like CJ West too, but I already went Darius Alexander. Jackson Halls, in my opinion, would be a fantastic replacement for Bates, Nick Nash, Connor Colby. All right, so hear me out. Say we have Terry and Luke are the only 2 wide receivers on contract next year. We get Trey Harris. That's 3. People are like telling me we have to re-sign Diami. People are forgetting he only had 300 yards and 1 touchdown. Like it seems like he had a crazy, crazy good year, but he didn't produce until the playoffs. Like that's easily replaceable in my opinion. So say we have Terry, Luke. Say we get Trey Harris, Christian Kirk in the slot, Kyle Williams at wide receiver 5, and then you re-sign Noah Brown to be a bigger body guy and Alamani Zacchaeus. That's your 7. All right. Everyone's telling me in the chat, get some speed at wide receiver. And you don't have to talk me into getting Kyle Williams. Like, this is my boy. Y'all know that. I have no problem doing that. Trey Harris is, he's a downfield threat as well, but he's just a man coverage killer. And so is Kyle Williams. When it comes to fitting the scheme and what Cliff is going to run, Kyle, I mean, he's not the biggest dude, but even for his size, his contested catch rate's really high. Grade versus man coverage, 89.7. Y'all should see the rep he had against Travis Hunter. Man, press man, ran right past him with ease. Scored a touchdown on him like it was the easiest touchdown of his life. Last year at Washington State, 70 catches on 101 targets, almost 1,200 yards, 17.1 yards per catch. Come on. 14 touchdowns. That's crazy. And like I said, he was cooking Travis Hunter. It wasn't last year, it was the year before that. Or no, was it last year? When did they played Colorado at some point? I forgot what year it was. But dude's a stud. I mean, nasty. All right, let's see what we got here. Isaiah Bond. I'm not an Isaiah Bond fan. I think he's gonna struggle. I hate to say it. But I'm not an Isaiah Bond fan at all. Holland Pierce from Rutgers. I do like him a lot. I think Holland Pierce is from Rutgers. Is that the same guy I'm thinking of? Any chance that Nick Amanwari will be there with our second pick? Probably not. And for me, he would be more of a Jeremy Chin replacement because of like his size and where he plays. But it sounds like Jeremy Chin will be back, which I really like Nick Amanwari. I like Andrew Makuba if you want to improve at free safety. I think Deebo Samuel would be a good fit. I think he'll fit well with our team. I think he would too. Fans hate it, but I think he's going to be a post-June 1st release, and I think Washington would be really high on him. I like Alik. I was really hoping he'd be at the Senior Bowl. He's just a big unknown to me, but I like his playing style. I like his size and everything about him. But, yeah, I just wish I could have seen more. Now, on this one here, I already know who I'm getting. Miles Frazier out of LSU is a beast. That honestly, he might start at right guard next year. Like he's that good. That dude was not locked down, but he was stonewalling dudes at the Senior Bowl. I like Arondé Gadsden as well, but I'm going Miles Frazier. I'm building up that line. Him at 204 is a crazy value pick. Like crazy value. I'm super high on him. Let's see what we got. They're begging me to take another wide receiver with Theo Weiss. Xavier Truss. This is where it gets really weird. I'm a big Marcus Ware fan. 237, Mac McWilliams, Tommy Hill definitely in the conversation. I think Mac McWilliams. I think both these guys are underrated. Man, this is tricky. Dante Trader Jr. I don't know a lot about him. I'm sure there's a lot of Maryland fans in here. Looks like he played deep and in the box at Maryland. I don't know much about him. Let's see. Calvin Ridley, I wish. I do like Malachi Moore too. I think you can get him late. Yeah, Miles Frazier is a beast. I think he'd be a steal. Lacey, man, I don't know what's going on with Kyren Lacey. He swears he's innocent, and you're innocent until proven guilty. But man, it's not looking good. He didn't get invited to the combine, and he got his invite pulled for the Senior Bowl as well. So this one's crazy though. We got 2 picks left here in the 7th. Dane Jackson. People are high on Dane Jackson. I haven't seen a lot of him. I saw him. Caleb Downs, no. Caleb Downs came back to college. He's still young. I'm going to go. This is tough. I like Rock Taylor, too. Rock Taylor's a beast. Shamar James. I'm a big Shamar James fan. Carson Vincent's a beast. Thor Griffith, another interior D lineman, super productive. All right, I'm going to go corner. Or do I want to go Xavier Truss? Right tackle from Georgia. Didn't have the best year. I'm honestly just going to go who I think is the best player available, and I think that's Tommy Hill from Nebraska. I'm a fan of his. 6', 205. I like Mac McWilliams too, though. Shoot. I'm going to go Mac. depth at corner. Like we mentioned earlier. Everyone's asking kicker. Let's see. I've never looked at kickers on here. Special teams. Who we got? Ryan Fitzgerald. Let's go. We might have to take Fitz with that last pick. I'm gonna go. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go depth at corner, Mac McWilliams, because obviously I don't think St. Juice is gonna be gone. Michael Davis is gonna be gone. You need some depth at corner too. Mac McWilliams in the 7th is a really big pick. I know guys are super high on him. Ryan Fowler, if people pay attention to him, he's really high on Mac McWilliams. And then in the 7th for y'all, because you asked for it, I know PFF is going to give me the biggest F for it, but he is good. Ryan Fitzgerald. We'll go Ryan Fitzgerald in the 7th round. Let's do it. Nathan said go Shiloh for a hard hitter. I don't know. Maybe we do, upgrade free safety a little bit, but let's see. So they said we should have done Cameron Williams instead of Darius Alexander, which I'm saying big no to. Big no. Darius Alexander clears Cameron Williams. The PFF set this one out. All right, so far it's not looking too bad. They said B-. I think that's super harsh, mostly because the C+. Darius Alexander having a C+ at 61 is mind-blowing to me. I think that's crazy. So we got the home run, running back 1 for next year. I think him at running back 1 and then B-Rob at running back 2. Maybe they get rid of one of them, but I don't know. But then Darius Alexander, first off, him and Newton are the future of that line. John Allen, if he doesn't get extended, you're not freeing up money. He's probably going to be gone the next season. But you're still going to see a ton of Darius Alexander. I take him over any D tackle that's going to be in the draft next year. And then Trey Harris, I will die on the Trey Harris hill. There is no way he's about to be there at 79. So, I'm taking it. This should be an A+++++. Trey Harris is going to be a bona fide stud. Mark my word. There's going to be a lot of teams that miss on players in this draft. There's going to be a lot of duds because this is not a crazy talent pool of, prospects. This isn't some franchise-changing draft, but you have to find your guys that fit what you need, fit what you're doing on your team, and that's what I do these by. So I really don't pay attention to overall draft grade and all that. Omarion Hampton in a gap run scheme, perfect. Darius Alexander on a team that needs better defensive tackle play, getting to the quarterback, stopping the run. Darius Alexander clears that big time. A bona fide wide receiver 2 who has the upside of a wide receiver 1, for being honest. Opposite of Terry McLaurin, that is a man coverage beater, the best man coverage wide receiver in the whole draft. Trey Harris. Yes, sign me up. A speed guy, and I'll say he replaces De'Ami Brown, Kyle Williams, and Cliff Kingsbury offense, talking about the quick screens, talking about those. If you look at the throws, like how it's broken down and everything, the throws 10 to 19 yards, Jaden Daniels last year was elite. He was the best. He was the best quarterback in that range. And that's where Kyle Williams, you just get the ball in his hands and he's gone. I mean, he is gone. And then Miles Frazier, I think he has an upside to start at guard. I really like Miles Frazier. If not, you have a bona fide, depth at guard, which we haven't had in a while. We're moving Trent Scott to guard when Sam Cosmi goes down. You can't do that. I still think you sign a veteran guard for a 1-year deal. You're not going to be signing Trey Smith or someone like that and just throwing a big contract at a right guard when you have Cosmi once he comes back, who you already threw a big contract at. So I think you get a 1-year veteran at right guard, or worst case, you put Wiley out there at right guard, or you kick him in. But Frazier, every day of the week. Mac McWilliams, I really like his game as well. Really good man, really good in zone. A little bit undersized, he's 5'10", probably 190, but I don't care. DJ Reed, super small. Mikey Sanders still super small. I don't care. He's a dog on film. I like him. He's going to be replacing St. Juste and Michael Davis. You need that depth at corner too. I think you sign a bona fide corner one with Charvarius Ward or DJ Reed or someone like that. So we're building depth. And then you get the best kicker in the whole draft in the 7th round. Y'all are begging for it. I'm not mad at it. Check the dude's kicking stats. He's like elite from 50 plus. Like I think the last 2 years, he only missed like 2 kicks. Like it was either 2 or 3. I can't remember, but the dude is lethal. I think the ones he missed was like 45, 46 or something like that. But I like this draft, y'all. And like I said, I kind of walked y'all through my mindset of free agency too. The draft is where you're getting these guys that you can develop and they can be, those future pieces for you. So you have your long time running back, you have a long time D tackle, you have 2 wide receivers that can solidify themselves. You have, probably your starting kicker for a long time with Ryan Fitzgerald, barring anything, and he just sucks when he comes into the league. But then you think about free agency. You think about those guys you can invest money in and get that, big time, results out of right away. Ronnie Stanley or Charvarius Ward or Darius Slayton too. Like just because you're drafting 2 wide receivers doesn't mean you don't still go sign one. We only have 2 wide receivers on contract next year, guys. That is very concerning. I say you bring 2 of them back and then you go get Trey Harris, Kyle Williams. I'm all for it. And then same thing with the offensive line. You at least need to build some depth as well. So let me get to some chats which y'all been talking about. My man Kyle Williams, the B+ should be an A+. That's what I'm saying, especially there in the 5th. Darius tightened the hips just a little bit, but man, I'm telling you, he can get off a block in a heartbeat. He is so good at stopping the run on the way to the quarterback too. Just a super athletic guy. When I'm talking about these faster D tackles that are very productive, man, Darius Alexander is going to be a steal. We're going to need a running back 1, and that's what we got. And, I like Damian Martinez. I like some of these mid-round guys. But when we really think about it, in this running back class, I know it's super deep. Why not just swing for one of the best? Like, why not get a guy who can be a top 10 running back if he plays his potential? If he's in the right scheme, which he would be, if you build the offensive line the right way. Omarion Hampton, man, I'm telling y'all, the dude is a big play. And he can catch and he's great in pass pro too. He's a 3-down guy. Like, he's not someone that's going to be rotating in. He's better than Judkins. I think Trayvon Henderson's really, really good too. I'm really big on Trayvon Henderson. Like, Hampton, Henderson, and Martinez are my top 3 running backs for Washington. Love all 3 of them. But why not swing for it, man? I'm not just releasing Allen for the cap space. We have plenty this year. I'm the same way. If anything, I'm extending him a year or 2 and freeing up a little bit more money this year, but he's still here. And then you have an out after next season. Or you just leave it alone. Like you said, we have plenty of money. The free agency pool isn't crazy. And moving forward, I'm still going to be doing a lot of free agent videos. I'm going to have one for y'all almost every single day. I'll drop one tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And subscribe, y'all. If y'all are not subscribed, please do so. We're going to be doing a lot this offseason. Like I said, this last month was crazy. And, it's full steam ahead. That might be a conversation we have to have. Tress Way is a free agent. We'll see what happens. Zach Martin on a 1-year deal. Hey, I'd take it. Zach Martin on a 1-year deal. There's a couple. I'm doing my guard video soon. I might do that one next. But like I said, guys, Trey Smith, no. 4 years, 20.5 mil a year. Why? You have Cosme. We're not going to be investing in a 4-year guy. Same 4-year guy. Tevin Jenkins, I'm good on that. Kevin Zeitler would be cool. James Daniels was good till he got hurt. Mekhi Becton, if you can convince him to go to a rival, but 3 years, $9 million, but he can also kick out the tackle. I'd go after Mekhi Becton because he showed that he can play right guard really well with Philly. Dude was a stud. I'm not going to lie. For his size at guard, that's really hard to do. Like, I was super impressed. But worst case, you can kick him out to right tackle, barring something bad happens. Trent Scott didn't play bad at guard either. But, man, you have to have a real plan in place, man. I'm not fine with just going in there like, we'll see what happens. Like, pretty much the same line we just had. You have to build the trenches. If we can say that someone was good, and I'm with you on that. I think Trent Scott played great at guard, But if you can improve that position, you have to do it. And I think Mekhi Becton at right guard for, you know, like I said, but the thing is, he's probably going to want to start like those 3 years. So I don't know if he would come here just because we have Cosme, unless he goes left guard or if he wants to play right tackle. But I think he needs to stay at right guard. I was surprised at how well he played. Maybe bring Brandon Sheriff back for 1 year. Like I said, it's going to be someone like this that we sign at right guard. It's going to be a Zach Martin. It's going to be a Brandon Sheriff. Patrick McCarty is another guy, very like positional flex. Aaron Banks, maybe not the biggest fan of his, but it's going to be someone like that, like we sign at guard. People are telling me like, oh, let's go get Trey Smith. Then what does Cosme do when he comes back with his giant contract? Like you're going to give Trey Smith $82 million, $50 million guaranteed to do what? To play one season at starter. Then, like I said, what happens to Cosme? You're going to kick him out to right tackle? Like, doesn't make sense. Yes, he's really good. But we also have to think like what's more likely. Kevin Zeiler, if he plays one more season, he was really good at Detroit last year. That's kind of where I'm leaning with that. Sean Taylor's little brother, hey, I would like him as an undrafted free agent. That'd be dope. I say buy tackles too. Like I said, Stanley, man, Jackson, one of those two. Other than that, it's not that many good tackles. So if you go through free agency and you don't get Stanley, you don't get Jackson, then you're probably taking Josh Connolly Jr. at 29 if he's there. Or if Simmons is available at 29, then you have to do that, in my opinion. But it was just so hard passing up on Hampton at 29. The streets wanted Hampton at 29. I'm not mad at it. That's the NFC East champ roster if I've ever seen one. Appreciate it, Big E. Carlton Davis. I like Carlton too. I do like Carlton Davis. I think he would be good. What's going on, Queen Sheen? Listen to what she said. Smash that like button, y'all. Appreciate it. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button. Henderson from Ohio State's usually my guy in the second. I'll probably do him next one. I'll do him in the next one for y'all. But a lot of people wanted Amarion Hampton. But yeah, he probably is going to be gone by 29. If I had to guess. Factor not having a first round. We just have to see. I find it really hard that Adam Peters would trade 2 first round picks, maybe more. But it is Myles Garrett. But I just don't know if that fits Adam Peters' philosophy when he thinks, I can go get Khalil Mack. I can keep that first round pick and get my long-term tackle or get my, starting running back next year. That's going to be a big part of this team. Oh man, Najee Harris. I love Najee, but I don't know. We have Najee Harris on our team. His name's B-Rob. We need speed. We need someone with fresh legs. My boy Amarion Hampton's ready to run. Martinez does fit our offense. I like him a lot. And yeah, Trayvon Henderson's a local boy too. I like him. I'm a big fan. Need to get bigger and tougher up front. I agree. I think we'll spend some free agent money in the trenches. Kyron Lacy, he's still on my not good list. He's not invited to the combine. He got his invite pulled from the Senior Bowl, so we'll see what happens. Good luck with finding a speed in the running back position. The draft class of free agency is lacking speed in the running back department. So that's why, I'm not saying he's like a track star, but Amarion Hampton is very shifty. Trayvon Henderson's fast. Quinshon Judkins isn't fast. Caleb Johnson's pretty fast. I'm really excited to see what happens at the combine. I'll definitely do a combine. I might go live for the combine and talk about some stuff. The combine is next week. I forgot what day it starts. I thought about going and I was so close to going, but I'm trying to move back. So I said, let's not do that. Spend all that money. It's like $2,000. So it starts Wednesday, the combine does. Defensive line, let's go. Linebackers, and then kickers on a Wednesday. Let's go. That's next Wednesday. So get ready for that. What 2 edge rushers are you bringing in? Khalil Mack, if you don't get Myles Garrett. Khalil Mack or Sweat. I think Fowler's gone. I think Fowler's going to be gone. He just doesn't fit what we need. And man, there's not that many good edges too. For me, it's like Khalil Mack, Josh Sweat, or nothing. And then I'm fine with Dorrance Armstrong staying, but man, just adding Khalil Mack and Josh Sweat, or one of those two guys would be crazy. But yeah, I'm investing the money in the trenches in free agency, offensive line, defensive line. Trey Smith, I just don't see us, like I said, spending that much money on him when we have our right guard and Cosme of the future. And like he already has a big contract. You're going to give Trey Smith 80-something mil. That's a tough one. Like, I like it. If he can play left guard, shoot, then yeah, get Trey Smith then. Let's see. No tackle, edge, and 2 wide receivers drafted camaraderie, but Trey Harris is out pick, probably a second rounder. Also, Caleb Johnson, Iowa could be available. Yeah, so Caleb Johnson was there in the second, but like how I usually draft is Josh Connerly in the first, Trayvon Henderson in the second, Trey Harris in the third, and then pretty much the same after that. It just really depends what happens with free agency. If they miss out on one of those big time tackles or guards, or like D tackles or edge guys like Khalil Mack, and things in the first 2 rounds could get interesting. And I'm not ruling out a trade back at 29 either. It really depends what's there. If you can, trade back and get some other picks, not just saying that because we don't have a 4th. I don't really care about that. But I am more so just saying like what's on the board. And Josh Connerly at 29 would be fantastic, by the way. Let's see. Could we move Trey Smith to left guard? Possibly. I don't know if he's played left guard before, to be honest with you. I think he's strictly been on the right side. I just hope we beat other teams to the players we have in mind and not cluck around. So that's another thing too. Players want to come here. This is the destination for players to come to. So, and I told y'all to like stop thinking about T. Higgins, stop thinking about these Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, guys who aren't available, and just start thinking about the top free agents. Start thinking about Charvarius Ward, DJ Reed, talking about tackles like Ronnie Stanley. If you want to go that route, just start thinking about those guys, and they want to come here because we have the money. We're an ascending team. We have Jaden Daniels, and we made it to the NFC Championship game. Where are we at with Myles Garrett? Next week is really when the clock starts. Next Wednesday at the Combine. That's when I'm really starting to look. I like RJ Harvey too. He's really, really small. But yeah. Running back class is mad stacked. I love it. Hampton went to my rival high school. He's an absolute freak. I love that pick. Yeah, dude's a menace. If Hampton runs a 4.47, that dude, he might go before 29. Kyle Williams is growing on me. Going to watch more film of him. Yes. Watch the New Mexico State game. I scouted that game and I was like, yo, I freaking love this dude. To be honest, I'm thinking we're giving away that 29th pick for somebody unless we trade Allen to get more picks. That's the thing with Allen, though, and I kind of talked about it in my last video. I just don't know what that trade value for Allen's going to be in a draft that's so loaded at D tackle. You're not going to get a 3rd for John Allen, especially after his injury. Probably going to get like a 5th, and I hate to say it. But if that's the case, then you definitely are taking a D tackle in the draft, or you're signing Milton Williams to a big contract, because you can't just get rid of John Allen and be like, all right, I hope that fixes everything. Now we have a lot of money. What are we going to do with it? You got to spend it, or you got to draft somebody big time, which I'm fine with. I love John Allen. I get it's a business, but there's no way. There's a 0% chance we're just straight out releasing him. Like, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. Like, that would be more shocking than the Jahan Dotson trade. That would blow me away. It would not make much sense unless we just run out of money, which I don't see that happening. And we're not going to just like milk out the entire salary cap, by the way, guys. Look at Adam Peters. Look at our position we're in this year. You have to think free agency next year where T. Higgins will be available if they don't get a long-term deal done. Like, you just have to think We're not going to milk it like the Browns or the Saints or like one of those bad teams and then be stuck negative salary cap. That's not what Adam Peters does. I'm definitely going to be watching the 40. I'm going to be watching everything. I'm excited. Will we get a great running back at 29? If you get a Martin Hampton, yes. Hampton's not shiftier than J.D. Giddens. I mean, probably not, but I mean, as an overall running back, though, Marion Hampton clears Giddens by a lot. Especially contact balance. Oh my God, he runs dudes over too. Will a first pick be a running back? Depends who's there. Really depends. I'm glad we got Peters too. Does Payne or Allen take a pay cut? Only if you extend them. Only if you can extend those contracts. Alaric Jackson, yes. If the Rams let him go, please. Please, please, please. He is one of those young, up-and-coming guys. Kind of reminds me of like Tyler Biadasz, how he was like a young, up-and-coming guy. Not a lot of people really knew about him. And now he's a stud. I'm telling y'all, dude's a beast. And he went to Iowa. Let's go. You know, they breeding them boys to be offensive linemen. But yes, dude was nasty last year. 78 overall grade, 18th out of 141 tackles, 23rd pass blocking, 19th in run blocking. Really good. Played a ton of snaps. The only thing I didn't like was the 7 penalties. We can fix that, though. We can fix that. Allowed 3 sacks, 4 hits, 22 pressures. Really solid. Last year was like his breakout year. He's definitely one of the top tackles available. And I'm putting him above some like Tyron Smith, Cam Robinson. He's not that old, but he's getting up there. I'm putting Jackson at second, honestly. I'm surprised they have him all the way down at 46. I think he's way better than that. But, and I don't know. I probably wouldn't go Tyron Smith on a 1-year deal either. Or like Cam too. I don't know. I'm definitely going after Ronnie Stanley, though. I would do that in a heartbeat. Stanley's a must sign. He's the most experienced with the young mobile quarterback. Yeah, I like it. Man, Khalil Mack, I think he's gone. Like, I'm pretty sure he's gone, though. He can sell that house in a heartbeat. Luka had to do it. Luka just got a house in Dallas. Luka just got a house. He had to go. What's going on, Herman? I love it too, man. Yeah, Hampton would be a huge pickup, but if Dallas doesn't get Jinsey, he'll be more likely to get Hampton. Yeah, it depends what happens at first. But I think Hampton could go before us, no problem. If they can't do better than a 5th for Allen or Payne, then why don't they just give him? Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like I said, it's worth it. I do like Devin Neal a lot. I think he's a really complete back too, especially, gosh, in the receiving game, he's nasty. To be honest, I think we can get a 3rd for Allen. You just got to think how old he is. Team's going to have to pay him. He had the torn pec, and it's a loaded draft. I would find it so hard to believe that you get a 3rd pick for him. I really do. How many real difference-making running backs do you think there are in this class that fit our offense after round 1? After round 1, I don't think Caleb Johnson, he's a really good running back. I don't think he really fits our run scheme, though. So I'll go Travion Henderson, Devin Neal, Damian Martinez are like my top 3. Like, those are real difference makers. I can sprinkle in some other later round guys, but if you want like a guy that could start and be like productive from the jump, I'm looking at those 3 guys outside of round 1. Travion Henderson, obviously, if he's there in the 2nd, would be my top 1. Trying to think. Devin Neal's probably late 2nd, early 3rd. Probably 3rd. Probably 3rd round pick. And then, Damian Martinez is probably going to be early 5th, but I think they really fit the run scheme though. I'm not worried about like, oh, we need a speed guy, we need a track start running back. You have to really think about what does well in your run scheme. I need a guy that can hit that gap and he can run some dudes over, but then he can get gone. Marion Hampton does that. like really good contact balance. The thing was, B-Rob fit our run scheme, but his legs are just cooked. His legs are cooked. He had 3 different leg injuries. But those kind of guys, when you're not able to churn your legs, you're not able to get those contact, the yards after contact, those contact balance kind of yards. You're dead to me. And I hate to say that about B-Rob, but he's dead to me. The legs, you squeezed all the juice out of it. It's gone. It's gone. Now, can he be a really good bruiser guy like, Montgomery is in with the Lions where you're in the red zone or whatever? Sure. Cool. Marion Hampton can do that too. Trayvon Henderson can do that too. Devin Neal, he's more of like a shiftier dude. I think Martinez got a little shift to him as well, but yeah, I think, like I said, it's all about what Cliff decides to stick to with his run scheme too, because they mixed it up a lot. We did a lot of gap to start, then we switched to some zone. It was kind of like back and forth, but it also heavily depends on your offensive line. Sam Cosmi was pulling a bunch. He's not there, so whoever replaces him, can they actually do pull across? Can you do double pull? What kind of pull techniques can that guy at right guard do? If he can't do it like Sam Cosmi, your gap scheme's going to suck. You got to have somebody fast with good footwork who can cut across the center, get across the line, get in front of the running back, plow some dudes over with a gap. Or you're pulling your tight end. You're pulling Ben Sinnott or whoever your tight end 3 is. But you got to have some guys that can pull if you're going to do a gap scheme. Zone, it's whatever. Just open it up and give me a running back that can find the gap or not the gap, but like find the open hole in that zone and cut upfield and go. Or especially to the outside. Talking about outside zone or inside zone, one of those two. But you really, really, really got to figure out what you're going to do in the run game. So that's like the thing I'm most interested in. If I could ask anybody anything, I would ask Cliff, what kind of run scheme are you going to be running next year so I can pick? But I think they will run more gap than zone. Yeah, he can catch. Devin Neal. Devin Neal's a beast. Devin Neal definitely would fit this team. He's nice. I like him. I wish we knew what the plans was for this offseason. It's coming. It's soon. Got to think that we should cut John Allen. Why are you going to cut him just to free up money? You have a ton of money already. Ollie Gordon, he's at Oklahoma State, 6'2", 225 workhorse. I do like Ollie Gordon too. His season last year was bad. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm still high on them, but I don't know what you're about to get out of them. I don't know what you're about to get. Brian, a late in the game protect the lead where the D down guy. Yeah, I could see that. He's just don't put him into pass protect, please. Elijah Arroyo, tight end from the U. Let me get out of this real quick. Y'all see what it is. Y'all see the mock draft. I have had this up for a while. Let me just see where they have Elijah now. This is a really good tight end draft too. They got Elijah Arroyo at 80. So he would be middle, third, probably. I mean, he should be there at 70. It's big time receiving threat. I just don't know if we're taking a tight end. But it's a really good tight end draft. I really like it a lot. Loveland, Helm, Arroyo, Mason Taylor. Obviously, Harold Fannin too. Obviously, Tyler Warren's not going to be an option for us. I think Ertz comes back one more year. I think Ertz comes back one more year. He says he's not retiring, so it's up to the team. And I just think him and Jaden had too good of a connection to be like, we're going to try to replace him with somebody else. It would be somebody in the draft because this free agent tight end group is awful. It's bad. So you would definitely have to draft someone like a Colston Loveland or Gunnar Helm, who I think is sneaky underrated, or a Mason Taylor. Harold Fannin, I like him a lot. He's one of these weird ones for me. I'm like on the fence about. Elijah Arroyo is one of the best receiving guys. He's not a good run blocker at all, but the dude, he is so fast. He's a good route runner. But I want, like, if I'm getting a tight end, I want a complete guy like a Colson Loveland, like a Gunnar Helm, like a Mason Taylor. Jackson Halls is my sleeper to be the replacement for Bates, like in the 5th, 6th round, whatever. Jackson Halls, remember his name. I'm bigger on him than a lot of people are. And Georgia Tech did not throw the ball at all, but he's got good hands and he's a hellacious blocker. So I wouldn't mind it at all. If we could get a Roya, that'd be nice. What's the likelihood of bringing both B. Rob and Eckler back? You have to get that number 1 running back no matter what. And I know the team does want one. There was a report that Dan Quinn really liked Bucky Irving in the last draft. So, take that with what you want. He wanted Bucky, but Bucky wasn't there. But no matter what, you got to get that running back 1. I'm interested to see what Austin Eckler does too. We haven't heard from him yet. He said he was good, but like, is he gonna come back? Like, is he? I know we have him like on a contract, but 2 really bad concussions. Like, does he retire or is he still playing? Because those are bad concussions. Like, that was hard. That was hard to watch. But that's like my main thing too. I think you bring back, because if you get rid of either of them, I think you're saving like $3 million and some change for Eckler and B. Rob. So then you can bring back McNichols for like nothing. McNichols is probably our best pass pro, running back wise on our team. So if anything, draft Hampton or Trayvon Henderson. Keep B. Rob to be that bruiser. Hopefully his legs get healthy. And Jeremy McNichols as running back 3. I'm fine with that. Between Pat Bryant, Torrey Horton, Jaden Higgins, Ty Felton, who do you like the most? Jaden Higgins is my favorite for sure. He's so shifty for his size. His release is crazy. I'd go Higgins, Horton, Felton, Bryant. That's my order. Torrey Horton is another beast. Running back in the first, it's not out of the equation. Depends what falls. You can also trade back. But if Hampton's there, it's really hard to trade back. Luke Lockie, I saw him last year. I haven't watched him at all this year. Honestly, when I watch Iowa, which is really hard to do, I'm just watching Caleb Johnson. I'm not watching anybody else. 2 concussions and no for me for Eckler. Maybe he does retire. We haven't heard anything, so we'll see. Joe Horn Jr. in the 3rd. Oh no, 3rd is way too high. He's probably, you might be able to get him undrafted, honestly. Where do they have him at? Horn. Yeah, 214. Jimmy Horn Jr. He should have went to Penn State, but he transferred to Colorado. I'd take a swing on him late. Efton Chisholm the 3rd's another guy I like too. Ricky White, I like. I do like Ty Felton. Tesla's a sneaky guy too. Theo Weiss. Rock Taylor fits what we do really well. We met with him. One of the bowls, was it Shrine? I can't remember. But Rock Taylor fits our offense as well. He'd be like a little Debo if you don't want Debo. Who else do I like? Corey Brooks is a deep threat. Deep threat. Efton Chisholm, super underrated. Easton Washington, shades of Cooper Kupp. Love Ricky White. Nick Nash, Triple Crown winner. I think he's interesting. Of course, Kyle. I do like Pat Bryant. I do like Horton. Noel in the slot. Trey Harris is my boy. Tez Johnson in the slot. Yes. Isaiah Bond, I'm not a fan. Jalen Royals in the right system would be really good. Jaden Higgins, stud. Savion Williams, a weapon. Crazy. Xavier Restrepo in the slot. He's way smaller than I thought, too. He's nasty. And then Jack Beck. People hate TCU wide receivers, I know. But Jack Beck's about to be a stud in the league. I hope y'all saw him at the Senior Bowl. They have him at 38 now. The dude catches everything. Like, I would not be mad if he's there. He's not going to be in the second, but man, Jack Beck, man, bona fide stud. And then Alik Eomanor, I got to go back and watch him. He is such a like question mark for me. I don't know what to think about Alik Eomanor. He's either going to be really good or he's not. Like, I know it's like, well, duh. But man, I'm so stuck on him. I was really high on him. Then he pulled out of the Senior Bowl and he pissed me off. So did Savion. Savion's a beast. I have a video just for Savion that I'm going to do because he's nasty. 6'5", 225. He moves like it's nothing. B-Rob is fine. We need to strip the line. That's the problem. B-Rob can't be your starter next year, though. That's just going to be. I do like Caleb. Bijan was first round. Horn from Colorado State, very speed receiver. He's a decent for a 7th. I think he'd be like a solid 5th, 6th round pick. Yeah, I like Horton a lot though. Nick Westbrook-Akine, he's on my list. I did a tweet yesterday. Follow me if y'all don't already on Twitter. At Josh Taylor FB. I'll be posting stuff all the time. But yeah, Nick Westbrook-Akine, he was a touchdown machine last year. Take Debo for the 3-hole. Which I think will happen. Debo's going to be a post-June 1st cut. He's not getting traded. No one's going to trade for him. They know that he can get cut. No one's going to. No one's going to trade for him. So like, I'm fine getting Debo for the right price, for the right contract. And he wants to play here. Like, he definitely wants to come here. And for the right price, we have the money. For me, it makes too much sense. Go get Debo. I think there's 100% chance we get either Debo, Christian Kirk, or let me see another wide receivers real quick. There's one more on my list. Or like Marquise Brown. Between those 3 guys, Slayton too, we're definitely getting one of them. Either it's signing Debo post June 1st, or in free agency we get like Marquise Brown, Slayton, or Christian Kirk when he gets released. And I like Christian Kirk a lot. Cliff, he said that was one of his favorite players he's ever coached. Cliff loves Christian Kirk, and he used him like perfectly. So he would be the starting slot next year. So like, imagine this. We have Terry, wide receiver 1, Christian Kirk in the slot, Trey Harris, and then say we have Kyle Williams is that speed guy as wide receiver 4. Say we bring back Noah Brown, we bring back Alameda Zaccheaus. I like it. I like that wide receiver room. I think Trey Harris is going to be so good. Once free agency is over, I'm going to start doing like individual breakdowns on like players, stuff like that, like watch film, probably not going to be live just because it does take a long time. I'm going to do like quick hitting, like scouting reports on players. So that's coming up after free agency. Like right now I'm pretty focused on free agency, still looking at the draft too. But once it's like go time for the draft, man, I'm going to do Trey, Savion, Kyle. I'm going to do so many wide receivers. Running backs too. Jack Beck played with Jaden too. I'm trying to think when they played together. This was like Arizona State. I'm trying to think where else Jack Beck played at. I do like Alik Eomanor, but I don't know. I gotta watch him one more time because it's been a while. I think the last time I watched him was like November. Or like a little bit in December, like when I heard he was going to the Senior Bowl, but then when I heard he's not showing up, I was like, all right, he's dead to me. Yeah, Christian Kirk is really solid. Trey can have either like soft hands or he can like have the most sure hands. It's crazy. He played at LSU. Oh yeah, 2022. Yep. Good pull. Forgot about that. It's crazy. Crazy. LSU has some good wide receivers, but he catches everything. There's so many people telling me like, Josh, we're not getting a TCU wide receiver. Cut it out. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care if he played for JUCO, last chance you. I don't care. Like, you cannot scout the helmet. You cannot scout the helmet. You have to just scout the player. And he's a fantastic dude. Same with Savion Williams, too. Like, two crazy wide receivers at that school. They're different guys. They're different cats. But they're awesome. So, but we're going to wrap up this stream, y'all. Like I said, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow, Wednesday. Hell, I might do one every single oh yeah, he does have great hands. I've only seen him drop a couple. But like the one against LSU where he's like in the end zone, he catches it like over the guy like that. He makes some crazy ones. Becca's a big physical, has some burners. I was not familiar with his game until I saw him live at practice. And I was like, bro, this dude, in my opinion, he was the best wide receiver at the Senior Bowl. And it wasn't close. Kyle was really good too. He got locked down the one rep with Azariah Thomas where he's just like one hand intercepted. Everyone's like, oh, he got locked down. Like, that was literally the only rep where he like got like truly locked down on. I don't know why my camera's going blurry, but like I said, y'all, we're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to drop stuff throughout the week and coming up with free agency and the draft as well. So hit that subscribe button, y'all. Appreciate everyone checking in. We went live for a good time, and y'all blew the chat up. So I appreciate y'all. And I'll catch y'all next time on the JTFB channel. Peace.